o'clock in the morning here in Port Ellsworth, Alaska, and Jared and I are getting ready to go on the Brooks tour with Lake Clark Resort. We're leaving at 6 a.m. At least that's the plan. We're waiting for our clients to show up, and we'll head that direction. There's the hardworking husband right now. This is the weather we're having. It's just a little overcast. Thankfully, no fog. It's absolutely calm. Broken skies I see towards the direction we're going, so it looks promising in getting there. So really excited to take you guys along for the day. And I just know someone's gonna ask about clothes. It's been nearly 70 degrees, so I have like a tank top in my husband's flannel, and I'm wearing, you can't see it, but I'm wearing leggings and my Hokas and bringing a rain jacket just in case. We took off a little after 6 o'clock from Lake Clark Resort, and the total flight time was about an hour and a half to Brooks Camp. This tour was really special. Not only was my dad our tour guide and pilot, but also this plane is very special. In the olden days, when the resort was ran by my grandparents, this was the only aircraft that they had to transfer people when it was just out of their house. And back then, when we had to get new planes, they had to sell the older ones. So this plane was sold and lived a long time in Florida until about 2 years ago, when my family was able to buy it back, and it came all the way back to Alaska. It was really fun having my dad as our tour guide. We all had headsets, so we were able to listen to a lot of what he had to say about the area. And here you can see Port Ellsworth, which is where Lake Clark Resort is located, which is right where my great-grandparents homesteaded here in the 1940s. The resort is actually on my family's original homestead, which is really cool, and it's fun to be able to share that with people. The flight today was absolutely gorgeous. Even though it was a little bit overcast, it was absolutely smooth, not a single bump in sight. We passed Lake Iliamna, which is pictured here. Lake Iliamna is actually one of the only lakes, freshwater lakes in the world that has freshwater seals, the other being Lake Baikal in Russia, which is pretty cool. And also Lake Iliamna is the largest lake in Alaska. It really didn't feel like it was an hour and a half later when we were touching down right outside of Brooks Camp. We were the first of many float planes to get to Brooks Camp today. It was not hard to find parking since we were the first ones there, but sometimes that does make a challenge. When we did get there and we were taxiing up, we did see this little guy sleeping next to the visitors center sign, which I think was actually pretty funny. Look at him, just so cute. He had a little hole that he was just resting in. We weren't even out of the plane yet and we already saw a bear. I think we were off to a really good start. We got off the plane and I took the clients to the visitor center to get the bear school bear briefing. There's the place where you can eat. We'll talk about that later. And the little visitor center. It doesn't open until 8 and we got there around 7:45-ish. And so we had a good time just watching the bear, just relaxing on the beach, sleeping. He was actually really funny. It took a lot longer than we thought to get in, so we had some breakfast. The resort packed us a sack breakfast. There were sandwiches, a rhubarb crumb muffin, and orange juice. They also have options for bagels and fruit. After we finished with our bear school and we got really cool pins, we started on our way through the day. We're here. Went to bear school and I got, can you hold this? Got a pin. So,
oh, almost lost it.
Oh my gosh, that would have been bad. But this pin, actually, my friend, who's also a teacher in our school district, made. So, that's pretty cool. How many?
11.
You just said 5.
Same thing.
Oh yeah, I see one way over there.
There's one behind it, too. And then over there, there's one. Swimming.
Did you get camera shot? Oh yeah, cute. What I've been hearing is that this year the fish, the salmon, are taking a lot longer to come through. Usually they're jumping at Brooks Falls quite a bit, and you can see them here in the under the bridge, but really there's not many. Look, there's just one little guy right there. We can't stop on the platform. I want to be taking photos and looking at the different fish, but we have to keep walking. So in a different video I made on my reels, shorts, TikTok, whatever, I talked about how we leave early in the morning so we can be one of the first to get onto the platforms. This camp is really famous for its, thank you, platform at Brooks Falls. So that's where we're headed to now, just because we want to beat the crowds. We want to get there first thing so we don't have a long waiting time, and then maybe we can stay there a little bit longer, because I think they have like a 40-minute, what do you call it? Like each group has like 40 minutes and they only allow like, how many people? 40 people at a time? For how long?
30 minutes. Actually.
Oh, 30 minutes. Oh, wow, okay.
So if we get there, we might get longer. I got it.
Oh, it's okay.
Last time we had 45 minutes to an hour with my group.
Oh, that's nice. That's really nice. After you leave the visitor center, you pass Brooks Lodge and the gift shop, and it takes you to the bridge. These are all views from the bridge that we had. It shows the lake and you can see bears. This is actually the best bear viewing that we had all day, was here at the bridge. Later in the afternoon, we just sat here for a couple hours and just watched the bears just hanging out. But after the bridge, it takes you to a trail that takes you to Brooks Falls and Brooks Lake, which is not that far of a walk. I don't remember the exact amount, but we did it like 3 times this one day. And actually, as we were walking over, Jared was telling me how he's never really been pulled aside, had to go into the woods because of a bear. Well, that quickly changed, because what happens next will be surprising. There's a bear on the trail. Is it laying there?
No, it's just standing.
No.
Oh, it's awesome.
Is it? What's it doing? Hey, buddy. Yeah, it is just standing.
Oh no, please don't do that. No, don't.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Are we gonna get stuck here?
Oh, we can't go up to the falls unless we wait here for a few minutes.
Oh, I hope it doesn't try and sleep. Oh, that's hilarious.
No.
There's a lot of other places you can sleep right now. Just not on the road, please.
Why'd you have to? We shouldn't have stopped at the bridge.
I know. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's gonna be there for a while.
That's hilarious. And now the bear is coming towards us.
Oop.
So Jared found a spot in the woods that we can get off into, and it can walk by.
Yeah.
Man, there's so many bugs.
Probably should be waving my arms.
No, you shouldn't.
We'll hop off.
We are in the woods next to the trail. Jared was just saying he wished that he had an opportunity to do this like 2 seconds before we got on. It's coming. Here he comes. Wow. Look at him go. At least he's not sleeping on the trail. Thanks for moving so we can go. He just looked at me.
Keep on going, buddy.
Keep on. He decided to stop and eat the trees. At least he's going into the opposite side of the woods and not the same one as we were in. But we can't get back on the road until he leaves a little bit longer. So, bye, bud. Well, we got the experience, and now there's more people walking this way, so we're gonna... If they didn't see the bear, we'll warn them that we saw them. This is how we measure the length of summer in Alaska. As you can see, according to this fireweed, summer has not started yet. When the fireweed reaches the top after it's bloomed, it means it's fall time. I know mosquitoes are bad. I saw a thing on social media where they put vanilla on you, and it was like vanilla extract, and that was like a bug repellent.
Yeah.
I didn't know how I would feel about doing that here, where there's all these bears. Because they say like no gum, no food, only carry like water with you.
Yeah. Let's just spray ourselves in vanilla extract.
Mmm, tasty. Yummy. So all these trees right here that are dead is because of the what? Spruce beetles?
Yeah. No. Yeah, that's it. Spruce beetles. Some kind of more beetles. Yeah, spruce beetles is what it is.
That killed the trees.
Yeah.
They're kind of ugly, but what are you gonna do? You can't get rid of the beetles, I guess. Oh, that's like the early of the spruce beetle?
I think so.
Oh, interesting.
New growth underneath and stuff.
Well, those things like just pop out of nowhere and you never see them, and then they just take off and it's like boom.
Ready? So close and get.
Oh, see, there's the platform.
Oh. That's actually my first one I've seen here.
Dude, I'm scared.
Ready?
I'm more scared of this thing than I
Ready?
am of the bears. Stop. We made it to the platforms. So, to go on this elevated trail, and we'll make it to the waterfall. You excited?
No.
Okay. How many bears have we seen so far?
23.
For real?
At least 10, I'd say.
10 to 15. It's been a lot, and we haven't even gotten that far. On all of the elevated boardwalks, they never want you to just stand there. They want you to keep moving, and that's because they don't want people just hanging out as the bears are walking underneath them. They want it just to be natural for the bears to go through. As we got to the falls, Brooks Falls, world famous Brooks Falls, we saw my dad. That was him right there. There were only 2 bears at the falls, kind of disappointing compared to what we were seeing down at the bridge. And just like what I have heard from everyone else, the salmon were not really jumping. Usually they're just continually jumping. We did watch some of the bears go and catch the salmon and eat the salmon. There's Dad taking photos. He does a lot of the photos for promotion for the resort. And I am an absolute noob. And when I went to go grab my camera, realized I did not bring my SD card with me. So I did not have a way to take any of the photos. However, I was mainly going to vlog the experience, so it let me focus on taking videos. But man, I just wish I was taking pictures, because just look at this scene. It was so cool to watch. I just know I'm so glad I'm not a salmon. Like, when the bears catch them and they're eating like this, the salmon are still alive. What a horrible, horrible way to die. They also have cameras, like live cams, that show the falls that operate during the busy season, so people from all over can watch the cameras. I think you can find it right here on YouTube as well. So up where we were at, that was the platform. We had no wait. We had 30 minutes up there, and we left because it started getting a little bit crowded. Normally, you can wait up there. You said you waited up there like 45 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dad said he was up there for over an hour the other day before they just gave up and just left. So it was really nice just being able to walk on and walk off. The upper platform is what they have the wait list for, but there is a lower platform that you can just go walk to. You don't need to sign up for it. And it's actually pretty cool because it shows you the full length of the river. It has in the distance Brooks Falls. It's really not that bad of a view. It is a little bit more crowded because there is no person limit, like there is a person limit on the upper platform compared to this one. But it was a really cool spot to just watch the bears. By this time, it was about lunch, and we said we were going to meet Dad for lunch, but we wanted to go to the gift shop first. But on our way there, we ran into a mama bear with cubs. Just check them out walking right here. Those cubs are this year's cubs. They're so small and adorable. We maintained our distance. They were using the same trail we were, so we let them just go up ahead. I don't know if you can see it very well in this clip, but there they are. They were on the other side of the swamp path, but what we weren't expecting was what happened next. Was when we were coming near to the end, a bear came out of the swamp, and so we had to jump into the swamp and let him pass, which was not a big deal. The people behind us were low-key freaking out, but we made sure to never turn our back, keep talking, and just walk into the swamp. Wasn't a huge deal. I think it was just a really neat experience, and this stuff happens all the time. It's the Brooks Camp experience. Yeah, that bear just came out of the area. There's people hiding in the woods over there, people out in front. It literally just came out from over here when we were walking by. That was honestly like
It's pretty cool.
a really crazy cool experience. But yeah, you can't see it because it just came out of the brush. Like this brush is tall.
It just spawned in. Oh, it's Riga. Hey.
Oh my gosh, it's our buddies. There was another roadblock right before we got to the bridge, and we waited there for about 15 minutes before we could actually cross. You could see Jared was super excited about that. But as we both know, it's just the Brooks Camp experience. I grew up coming here, so I remember years ago when we'd have to wait hours for a bear to move because it would close the road because it'd fall asleep. I just think it's comical. We bought some goodies from the gift shop. There was stuff from Brooks Lodge and then also from the Park Service. But, oh my goodness, it's so loud. There's so many planes parked here. When we were here, we were the only ones. Look at all these guys. So, fun fact, these rocks are pumice and they came out of the volcano and they float. This guy's a little big one, but look, there he goes. He's floating. There he goes. Once we were done at the plane, we went to Brooks Lodge with Dad for lunch. It's all buffet style. It was $28 a person. We waited in line for about 20 minutes. They had these national park signs that we read on the way. This is the menu, and this is what I got. It actually wasn't too bad for being in the middle of nowhere and for being buffet style. We also had this really cozy fire pit that we just sat at for a little bit. It was really relaxing. Like I said earlier, the majority of our afternoon was spent at the bridge because this was the best bear viewing. There was a mama with cubs. This bear was just hanging out right around the bridge and just kept catching some of the dead salmon that had been floating from up the river and just eating it right in front of us. Check out also this salmon. It was really cool to see it coming through. Jared was spotting the rainbow trout in here. Can you see it? My eyes don't catch that kind of thing, but he loves looking for it. Even though it was overcast, it was surprisingly warm. I was comfortable just in my flannel all day long. Also, you can see the roof for a building back there. That is for the cultural site, which is another place that you can visit while you're here at Brooks Camp. Watching bears is a little exhausting, so we had to go get a little snack from our coolers. We went to the food cache, which is where we store all the food, and grabbed out our trail mix and some candy, and we went to go eat in the little picnic area. So they have a food cache and a gear cache right next to the visitor center. It's in that little building over there, and then they have this picnic area that's surrounded by a electric fence so the bears can't get in. I think that's very smart. It was about 4:30 when we started on our journey home, another hour and a half flight. Okay, now we're going to talk about my recommendations for this trip if you do come to Brooks with Lake Clark Resort. I do recommend good walking or hiking shoes. You're going to be doing a lot of that and a lot of standing. Make sure that you take all the snacks out of your bags. You can't be carrying any food with you, and you can only have just plain water with you. You can have other stuff, it just needs to be stored in the food cache. There are a handful of outhouses to use the bathroom. However, there is only one flushing toilet in all the space. There's actually two, but where we were, there is only one working one. So really do keep that in mind. I always recommend bringing an extra layer just in case it does start raining or it does get a little bit colder. It is easier to shed a layer than wish you had extra, you know. You can carry a backpack on you when you're at Brooks, and I would highly recommend making sure you do have bug spray because my ankles are still eaten alive from the bugs at Brooks. Well, we're back here at the resort, which concludes our Brooks tour with Lake Clark Resort. Thank you guys so much for coming along, and of course, if you have any questions about the resort, the tour, or just anything living in remote Alaska, don't be afraid to drop them down in the comments. See you guys next time.